Can you remember any of the rap that you did?
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure.
That is cruel. You're a vulture. I knew of a realtor. One of his big things was going to the funeral. And I'm like, that is just, I could never talk about real estate if I went to a funeral.
That's level 301 prospecting, Chris. That's when you're a deep diver.
Hey, it's going to happen to all of us.
I heard that, yeah.
There's a rumor, maybe not you, Andy, that hair will never leave. The real me, the me that my clients see. I'll tell you what, I think the advent of all these things that are happening, I think you're starting to see the real people. It used to be that way. You'd see a guy on a Harley, like on a weekday, that was then in a suit, at an open house. Totally different person. But I think now everyone pretty much appreciates that and embraces it and makes it who they are. And the good thing is that you're attracting the people that are fine with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I tell that to new agents all the time. Everyone says you gotta come into the industry and you gotta send out postcards. You need to go knock on doors. You need to do open houses. You need to talk to 100 people a day. You don't have to do that. If you don't do it, and you won't do it, number one, and you won't do it good. But if you do something that you like and you enjoy, you can certainly do that. And that's the same thing with people. You think you have to work with every single buyer? No, you don't. I've had that instance more in the last 2 years than I've ever had that I've just said, no, it's not going to be fun. It's not worth it. And not that real estate's all fun, but you can make it an enjoyable process if you work together. And it's usually, I'll tell you what to do. Well, you know what? I've kind of been doing it a long time. I kind of know what I'm doing. It's worked for me. And if it doesn't work for you, that's totally fine. Go use whoever.
At the end of the year, I always say, let's measure the tangibles that what can we change? This is like coaching from a real estate perspective. And I would sit there with some of my agents on the team and I'd say, okay, you sold 24 houses. Let's talk about the best transactions you had, meaning the customers that were the easiest to work with, the most willing to do what they needed to do to get the deals done, and those that would refer you in the future. Like really appreciate what you are and who you are. They represent you, you know what I mean? And they'll refer you versus the bottom 2 or 3. And when you learn to look at your business, that's kind of the Jack Welch, who, by the way, Chris and I got to meet years ago before he passed away, who ran GE. If you read some of his books, he says, do it to yourself to get rid of your bottom 20%. And I'm telling you, it's scary, but it's refreshing. The buyer that's going to push you around, tell you what to do, argue about what the percentages are, argue about if you have any admin fees, argue about this, they're not going to refer you. They don't appreciate you. And I go, like I've told my team, I go, those kind of buyers, it's okay, or sellers, to just say, you know what? I don't know if we're a great fit. And even though I really respect you and appreciate you, would you like me to refer you to somebody else? And then you refer them to Chris Rooney. And then Chris has to deal with it. Because I'll tell you what, our business is, yes, we're straight commission, but you do at some point in time have to break down, is this a profitable relationship or is this a non-profit relationship? And I'll tell you what, boys and girls, those of us that are out there in this business, we're entrepreneurs. We've got braces to put on those kids' teeth. We got to buy tennis shoes too. And it gets to a point of where there's fair and then there's, it's just abusive.
Yeah, if it's not a win-win, it doesn't work.